It is possible, and the Lord Most High only knows, but it is possible that this very moment is the first moment that this story has ever been spoken in the English language. Many people might have come before and possibly spoken parts of the truth, but to understand and hear the story means I'm suggesting that if the story is true and you're searching for the light, then there must be in the story the proof of what? It should answer the questions. What questions? All of them. If the story of truth is ever truly told, it should answer all of the questions. It should be so amazing and incredible, beyond anything you could have imagined, yet be so clearly understandable and verifiable and knowable as the truth, yet surprisingly show and shine the light on all of the questions that you have ever had. But as I'm humbling myself and swearing before you that I am not going to be able to tell you everything, there's no way to tell every detail. But what I will tell you will be the truth. So if you listen to it and pay attention to the signs, there's a chance that you just might be able to solve all the questions that you've ever had. And it's the most beautiful, enlightening experience. And it happens to those who are searching for the light. But as I'm humbling myself and warning you, when you are shined with a little bit of the light and you understand things, oh, the feeling that you get after that is wanting to have so many more questions. So many more questions. Because if you see a true glimmer of the light, then what do you want is to know more of the light. And that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. So I've made some disclaimers and said I'm going to send you and tell you some crazy stuff. And man, I always promise it and I'm always going to deliver it if God is my witness. But I have to get serious, because this is the part of the story where we have to really talk about some really, really bad problems. To recap where we are, and just to understand the situation on our planet, we have been saying from the very beginning to bear heed of the fundamentals, that we are at war of light versus darkness, that the race that God made, called Adam and his descendants, have been warned all the way through all the line that there are other races and Satan is our true enemy, and he will try to deceive and confuse you. And the world around us is filled with darkness, and there is deception and misconception and myths and understandings that are so skewed that everything that should be totally obvious to you as a son of Adam is lost to you. How does that happen? How does that happen? Well, let's describe what was happening in the world where we left off the tail. We said we're telling you the story of the truth and how it was submitted. And we're trying to understand today's question, which was the importance of the great Eid celebration. Sometimes the story is so deep that we forget the question. And so I remind myself and I remind you, are you paying attention to the story? I told you this is the story of truth. Don't take it like I'm speaking some little tale. The truth of the light. but the world is a dark place. And so what is really happening on the world? We said the situation has been dire. Certain bearers of the light have been trying to hold on to the truth. And since we said, let's not get lost in the names and the groups and dividing each other. If I've maintained one thing as a Muslim, I've said that this is a story, not about one group of people or this group of people or that group of people. I'm telling you the story of the truth. And so it must be about what is going on with the sons of Adam. And so some of the children of Adam, the children of Israel, from the tribes, are in disarray. Some are called the Jews. They are those who are following the great and noble prophet, Moses. And here let me give the caveat again. I've always referred to all of the prophets the same way any person who follows the light refers to all of them, with peace and blessings be upon them all. Each of them were holders of the light. So as we saw, each community was trying to follow the guidance and the signs of the fundamentals, that the light of the word would be given to you. And each prophet was to be looked for, and each prophet sent signs. And so the Jews were there, and they had their scriptures, and we know that they studied them, and they were given great understanding and deep knowledge of some very mystical and magical things. And if some of you have started to look and wonder about some of the questions in the mysteries of life, you can see in some of the things that I've told you in the tale, especially of Solomon and what happened after that, a clearer picture of the world around us. And so we know that the children of Israel, some of them are holding the true belief, but they're divided over their scriptures, and they're arguing amongst themselves, and they are debating fundamentals, and they are losing the true word. And it is a sad, sad state. And as a person who calls himself a Muslim, when I say the Jews, you should understand from the way I've told the story, I have no ill will or disrespect to you. You and your people were bearers of the light. But sad as it is, slowly disinformation and misinformation corrupts, as always darkness begins to overshadow the light, and people, as it is, always start to forget or do not remember. But they know that the signs were there. And we saw what happened was that Jesus was sent as a sign, that we said the first fundamental of the chain that we go back to. The sons of Israel. The sons of Israel, Solomon and David and Moses and Joseph and Jacob and the brothers and his sons and Isaac, to the great Father who for the first time said in our story that has been from the beginning to the end only about what? The truth of the light for all of this planet. Abraham vowed, I want from my offspring somebody to remember the truth of the light, that the word is never lost. And he made the challenge for this planet of the truth, which was, remember, what was it in the story? That our Lord, the Lord Most High, the creator of all of the universe, is the only true creator. He is the only one who gives life, and he is the one who takes life. And the deepness of this we have tried to instill. But it is so important for you to understand. And so we get to the situation in the world where the children of Israel have now rejected Jesus, son of Mary. And for my Christians and brothers and sisters, I say the same caveat that I said before. Go back and listen to the way I spoke of Jesus. Peace and blessings be upon him, receiving the light greater than any prophet before him had ever received. Such a beautiful story is the story of Isa, as we call him in Arabic, in the chain of the prophets.